Hello.
Hey
Welcome,
guys,
welcome everybody.
how you doing?
How how's everybody doing today? So, we're going to be doing some brief introductions as to who we are initially. And so well, actually, would you like to start
Yeah,
your
so in terms of
introduction?
introductions, my name is Eric. I run a YouTube channel called Pixel Rookie, and it's a gaming channel. Big surprise there. And basically, I was actually a couple weeks ago, my channel was hacked and stolen, which is crazy. But because through Twitter, I was able to reach out to a guy named Scarce, who I'm sure you've heard of, and he promoted this issue, and within a 4-day period, miraculously, I got my channel back. So that was super awesome. But because of that, this charity group, Over the World, has reached out to me and asked for me to co-host with Jwin to do this podcast. So that's me. That's my story in a nutshell. But I'm really happy to be here, and thank you guys for being here as well.
Yep, and as he said, I am Jwin. Jwintrode, the bearded strategist is the full name, but I'm a streamer on Twitch. The reason or the way, I guess, that Hellhound found me for this charity event is I was doing a fundraiser actually for my family. We were kind of in a trying situation, and um, I was doing, I was basically killing myself doing 24-hour streams every Saturday for for about a month and a half, and because of that, like Hellhound found me, and I expressed within those streams that like I was getting so much support, and I wanted to be able to give back to others too. And so I was very interested in charities, and I actually came up with the idea for podcasts, and he wanted to integrate that into his into what they were doing for charity as well. So that's why how I'm here today. I'm a variety gamer. I also do a lot of art, and I've been kind of getting into graphic artists and emote creation and things like that too. So,
Cool. Yeah.
but yeah,
So,
that's
in
who I
terms
am.
of what is this podcast? What is this organization? So, basically, it is a group of gaming streamers just looking to do their part to help, do social good, support and help those in need, and really just, you know, uh, play games to help people. That's Over the World, the charity network of streamers. So, what we are is the podcast Overcast for Over the World. So, the two of us, this whole objective of the podcast is to interview people, ideally, special guests, bigger names like VoiceOverPete, who was gracious enough to join us today in a little bit, and kind of bring awareness of social good events that the actual special guest is wanting to support. So with this charity, specifically for this podcast, if you donate, that'll go straight to St. Jude. And so any proceeds, you can use the link, which they'll post that in the chat. And so that is because Pete wanted to go to that cause. So then the other part of it is to not just help that good cause, but to bring awareness for come June 21st through the 28th will be the next Over the World streaming event. And that will be a 7-day period with special guests and volunteers. And they will raise money for the Wounded Warrior Project. So that is the second piece of it, to bring awareness for that, hear the story of cool, popular YouTubers or streamers, and help support good causes. That's what we're here for. We want to do good to help people out. And this is just a simple way we can do this, especially during quarantine. So that's a little bit about, what this is.
Yep. So basically, we're just preparing the way for those main events, and being able to get awareness for all sorts of other causes for those specific people that we are interviewing at this time. We are actually being sponsored currently by Cyber Gameway. Cyber Gameway specializes in providing streamers and gaming organizations and Discord communities with exposure and income generating opportunities. If you are interested in Cyber Gameway, you can learn more at their website, www.cybergameway.com. and you can find out all sorts of information. They do a lot of stuff with whether it be from website creation to creating your own merchandise and selling it. And so they are supporting us and sponsoring us today, and so definitely give them a big shout out.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we appreciate any support, of course. So, and then from here, though, what's going to happen is in about 10 minutes, VoiceOver Pete himself will be joining us. And the idea is to just really hear his story, talk about current events. There's some pretty big stuff going on. The whole pandemic is kind of a big thing. So, touch on that, hear his story. And we want to leave about 10, 15 minutes towards the end, or maybe about 20 minutes. And we're going to want to take questions from chat, and we want to go ahead and field those to Pete. And so, if you have questions, go ahead and send them out. We have a bunch of mods that are waiting to take your questions. And then in the end, we will address that and see what Pete has to say. And then after that, we'll just kind of close it with a sponsorship message. And, that's it for today. It's just going to be about an hour long, and we're going to hang out with Pete and learn a little bit about him.
Yep, definitely. And yeah, we're excited to be able to meet him and talk with him and kind of discuss, like you said, current events and kind of struggles that we're going through, and a little bit more about the St. Jude's charity as well. Yeah, is there? Feel free, like he said, feel free to ask questions anytime. The mods will be able to take those questions, and we'll be able to check those out at the very end of the stream today, and we're going to relay them over to Pete. So it's gonna be a good time. So how is everybody doing this morning? We've got about 8 minutes left before we actually invite Pete onto the call. Is there any questions, I guess, for now, for us?
And while waiting, so there's not that awkward dead silence, Jwin, why don't you tell us a little bit about, like, how did you get into streaming, and how long have you been doing it for?
So how I got into streaming, my health has declined a lot in the past several years. It started about 6 years ago. I was working hard labor jobs pretty much my whole life. I was a plumber, actually, full-time plumber for residential plumbing. I did commercial plumbing, service plumbing, drain cleaning, any type of plumbing that you can think of. I've been in it and basically just busted my back and was doing that. But I started developing some really bad medical conditions, and last year I actually got laid off from plumbing in July, and so I was without work for a couple months before I started streaming. I played games to kind of relax and chill and kind of maintain a positive mentality, and I didn't really think anything of it. I just was like, hey, I'm playing games, I might as well stream it, like if anybody wants to come and chat while I hang out and while I play games, like, cool, because I'm a social gamer. I like to talk to people while I play games anyways, so I figured I might as well give it a try, and that was in October of last year. So I've only
Nice.
been streaming for, what is that, like 8 months, something like that. But when I first started, yeah, I made a community, but it basically was just my streaming Discord. But it's become into a lot more than that. Honestly, I just want to be able to help people, because I know I've been through in rough situations and circumstances, and honestly, we're all about helping people through hard times, and
Oh yeah,
because I've been there.
Yeah, and I think honestly, everyone, and if you haven't gone through hard times or trying times, then one, I would ask, how old are you? Because I imagine you're fairly young. And then two, like, we're all human, we're all people, we're all in this together. So this is just us trying to do our part. This is something I've wanted to get into: charity, streaming, charitable, like social good, for a while. And so the fact that through the bad of getting my channel stolen and hacked, and then getting it back very quickly without it getting deleted. And then having Hellhound, the founder of Overcast and Over the World, reach out to me. Through all that, now here I am, and we'll be able to talk to VoiceOverPete and promote a streaming event in the summer, and just try to help people out. So the series of events that led to this, I just feel like it really is just wonderful how it worked out, so that we can be here together and help do some good for people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. It's a huge blessing to be able to be a part of something that can help others. Like for me, at least, I helping others is what helps me find happiness. Like I find a lot of joy in helping others, because honestly, I mean, it helps you not focus on your own problems quite as much, like.
Oh yeah.
And it always makes you feel good to be able to just see others be blessed and be happy and
I would
be able
be
to uplift themselves.
I would be very surprised if someone helps someone else out and they're like, ugh, that really grinds my gears. I don't think, I think everyone can relate to that, and so I think
Yeah,
that's
right.
why, big YouTubers and streamers, when they do these charity events, it's just so well received because everyone loves charity. Everyone loves helping people that needs help. So, and there's a lot of people in the world that need help. I know for me and a lot of people I know, we're very fortunate, very blessed to be in the situations we are in. Even through these harder times, if you look at the perspective of the whole world, how much
Mhm.
more we still have. It's a very fortunate situation to be in. So I feel like if we can take that and help those people that aren't as fortunate, either with, financial situation, their health, physically, mentally, emotionally, any of that, then
Mhm.
I feel like that's putting our time to some good use. And
Right.
hopefully we can do more of that.
Well, and there's always people that are having a harder time than you are. Like no matter how bad it is, there's other people that are going through similar things or even worse things.
Oh yeah.
And I I feel like it's that's honestly what's going to be able to help a lot of people in the world, is if people have that mindset to reach out and just to help people, even if it's just to make people feel good. I mean, we
Definitely.
can't change their circumstance, we can't change their difficulties or struggles that they're dealing with, but we definitely can reach a hand out and show them some love. So,
Most certainly. Yeah. So that's a little bit about us, and
mhm.
it's just a cool situation, a very strange scenario that brought me into it and brought us together. But I'm happy to be part of it and partnering with Over the World and being part of this Overcast uh, podcast. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we got 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes.
Yeah, got the
And
jitters.
thank you so much, everybody, for coming in today and uh, for supporting the stream and please do, if you are able to, please donate to the charity that we're going for. Um, wow, I'm having a
The
blank right now.
$300, it looks like. So
Yeah.
we can hit that. That'd be awesome.
Yep. For St. Jude's Hospital, and it's a great charity, and honestly, I feel that it's one of the best charities to be able to actually donate towards, um, because there's a lot of good that they do.
who doesn't want to help support like research for cancer and diseases to help children? That's it. Like, helping people is one thing, and then helping children, especially, I know you're a father, I'm a father, I know Pete's a father. I think once you have your own child, it hits even harder. So
Hmm.
I think, who doesn't want to help kids? It's
Right.
just something. It yeah, it's definitely a good cause. So
It's true. If my daughter was suffering through something
oof,
debilitating, I definitely would want to do everything that I could to be able to help her, and
everything and then more.
everything and then some.
Yeah.
Yes. uh,
You guys excited for VoiceOverPete to join us?
yep. Got 15 seconds for VoiceOverPete.
Very exciting.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We won't be able to respond to chat, but here is VoiceOverPete. You want to give him a call? Oh no, technical difficulties.
But it is coming. Don't you guys worry. Can I here?
Did you add him to the call?
I will.
Okay.
Boop. Hey,
Hey,
Howdy, gentlemen.
Mr.
how you doing?
VoiceOverPete. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
It's a pleasure. Doing great, and it's even though it's a rainy day here in Florida, it's sunny inside.
Oh,
That's good.
beautiful, beautifully
Sunny
said.
inside.
Well, we really appreciate you coming and joining us today. I know, and I've expressed this before when we spoke briefly, but I know we're a smaller group, and I know you're one of those I consider a big player. So I think it's really cool to have you, take a Saturday afternoon, join us, help support a good cause, and just help our fans, and then help your fans hopefully learn a little bit more about you as well. So it's really appreciated.
Well, it's my pleasure to meet you guys and just let's talk about some real stuff today. Let's just get real and see where this goes.
I like that. I think
Sounds
that
good.
sounds awesome. So, I think the way we were wanting to break it down is kind of for people that know of you but don't know too much about you, or people that don't know about you from other communities that are coming in. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, what you were doing before you got into content creation and how that transitioned. I think for me, I would love to hear a little bit more about that. I'm sure other viewers would too, but it, we would love to hear, even if it's just kind of a brief, elevator pitch kind of version of it.
Sure, happy to. You named 3 points. Which one do you want to start on first?
I guess, where did you come before you started doing content creation? What were you doing before that?
Okay, sure. So a number of years ago, not that long ago, I was a sales executive in telecommunications and then in IT solutions. And that was going pretty well, but there was a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and I found myself, at the dance with no chair to sit on when the music stopped. And finally, my son, who's in my videos, came to me and said, "Dad, you really ought to try Fiverr and be a freelancer. It's great." I was like, "Really, freelancer?" So I got on that platform, which shall not be named, and I did pretty good. I got to admit, did pretty good, but I'm like, it's not enough money to pay the bills. Again, my son's like, "Dad, you're this big sales guy. Do videos." I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a try." So I did. And within a short amount of time, I blew up, became top rated sales guy. That went on for about 5 years. And then came that fateful day when some little snot-nosed YouTuber came to me and said, "Will you please do this script for a meme?" I looked at it and I was like, "That's pretty funny. Let's give it a go." He put it on his YouTube channel and he blew up, right? He got like over 2 million views
Oh,
on a
wow.
channel that had 800 subscribers. He blows up at Love and Life, and then all of a sudden, my queue on Fiverr blew up, and I was cranking out 50 videos a day, and I couldn't keep up.
Wow.
Couldn't keep up. Literally,
Jeez.
my voice was hoarse morning, noon, and night. I'm not
believe it.
exaggerating. I was like, "No way," My wife is like, "Here, constant stream of hot tea and honey," and it went on for a good month. And then suddenly, that fateful day came when my son shows up and he's like, he literally walks into my studio and he's like, "Dad, you're banned."
Surprise.
"Hi, PJ, how are you?" And I'm like, "You're kidding. You're totally kidding." "Oh, no, Grande, he tweeted about it." "Grand who?" So I definitely came a long way since that day. But that week then began what I call the perfect storm in YouTube terms, when Pewds goes and does a shout out not once but twice in the same week. Ninja, he starts, a great little Twitter, hey, I'll play with you on Fortnite, and Ninja, still waiting, dude. And then even Keemstar's like, oh yeah, I'll take something. Anyway, it was the perfect storm. Within a week, I had 500,000 subscribers. I was like, dang, YouTube is so easy. Why didn't I do this before?
Yeah.
So with that, my son and I started, and we took off, and it's been fun. It's been a ride. Then, wouldn't you know it, my son gets a job offer from probably one of the largest video production companies in the state of Florida, takes it as a director. And, as the dad, I'm like, Peach, you got to do it. This is an awesome opportunity. As his business partner, I'm like, I am cutting you out of the will. Out of here. You're banned. So it's been a struggle on the YouTube side to kind of replace my son. On the other hand, it's been a lot of fun getting to meet people, getting to know them, and doing all the gaming that I've been doing.
That's
Definitely.
awesome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. What were you going to say,
Yeah, for
Jwin?
sure. I was just wondering, what kind of content creation do you prefer? Do you prefer streaming, or do you prefer like YouTube videos, or what do you prefer the most out of all of them that you've done?
There's pros and cons to both.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You do a gaming video, whatever it is you game, and it's great because it's one and done, right? I mean, there's no real editing because it's live and it goes out on Twitch, Mixer, whatever, YouTube. You do a production video, and there's big advantages because you can literally, write it all out, script, storyboard if you really want to get complicated. My
Edit
son,
it and-
he's bringing in $40,000-$50,000 worth of production equipment. This is the way we
Dang,
do it,
that's
Dad.
awesome.
I'm like, oh my God. We got drones flying overhead, We did I announced my presidency
I
to the
saw
internet.
that. It's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah, about a year ago. And we had drones flying around. We had big cameras walking around, and it was great. But I quickly found on YouTube, production value, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
I know a guy who does everything with a cell phone, and he has 5 million subs. I'm like, dude, you're so joking, right? And he goes, no, I just set it right up in my studio, and there it is, and that's it.
I bet a lot of people are like, what's the secret sauce? Can you send it to me?
Here's the way I liken it to my boomer friends. Twitch, YouTube, it's next gen TV. It is. So we all still like TV and the movies we see and the shows that are on there, but this is it. This is a show. This is personality. The audience gets to know you, follow you, certainly some bigger than others, just like TV. But the advantage is it's almost instant interaction.
Oh, yeah.
So on Twitch, Mixer, even YouTube, you can have the chat, and you're going back and forth, and you have this dialogue sort of going on. You never get that in TV. They're sort of on this unreachable pedestal, and it's like, well, I admire you and all, but man, we get to know great YouTubers, great gamers, and that's pretty sticky. That's pretty nice to have that you'll just never have in TV. That's why this is next generation TV.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's
Well,
true.
let me ask you this. That transition from, that dreaded day to blowing up, within a very short period of time, what changed for you? Was it stressful to have like that kind of, like, for me, I had one video blow up where I got like 1,000 subscribers. I was like, oh, I'm like, that's so much to have like almost nothing to 500,000. Was it overwhelming? Were you able to digest it pretty well and handle that? Can you talk us through like what happens when you get that momentous steamrolling snowball effect?
It's all your point of reference, right? You take everything that you've done in life, accomplished, learned, and you come to this point, wherever this point is for you, for me. And now you're faced with this horizon, And when it comes to the internet, it is infinite.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is infinite. Talk about galaxies. It's like, you're kidding, right? There's no end to whichever direction you go in. And I felt like when that happened, by the end of the week, I had been dropped into the ocean and told, okay, go swim now. I have no idea which way to swim. And let's face it, there's nobody out there trying to direct or help channel you, or, at least with tips and tricks. And it was overwhelming. It was surreal. It was a sense of kind of a lostness, because I'm like, all right, well, where do I fit here? Whereas always in my corporate career, sales is pretty much defined as, you sell, you have a job. You don't sell, you don't have a job. It's very simple.
Oh, yeah.
What am I selling? Oh, that's right over here, and you learn. And with the internet, man, it's undefined on purpose.
It's the Wild West, man.
It, in many regards, it is, and yet, all too well, when you get on YouTube, we have defined it. And we've all been burned by the definition of how they interpret what it is they wrote, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's another story, another time. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's been one big learning experience after another.
I feel like and I'm sure Jwin could agree, every time I release a video, or I don't stream hardly ever, but I learn something new from my like stupid mistakes. And it's always like, next time. So
Yeah,
and I'm sure
always improving. No matter how far you are, or who your audience is, there's always things that you can improve.
I went to Vid Summit this past fall, and when we could still travel, right? And the keynote speaker was Mr. Beast.
Oh, nice.
And he gets up there. I'm going to save you guys $2,000. He gets up there and he says, he boiled it down to the simple. He reduced to the ridiculous. And I love that, because he says, guys, this really isn't rocket science. It's super simple. Here it is. YouTube wants eyeballs. If you give them eyeballs, they will give you views. That was it. He simply says, develop your video and your channel in such a way that people want to come back again and again. I mean, when you're like, oh yeah, that's like stupid. It's so simple, right? But doing it is another story. And yet he's done it. And yet he's done it. He even went through the whole process of how to create a thumbnail, and how there's even iterations within your thumbnail, within your title, to the thumbnail. And pretty much until his video comes out, he's still even tweaking thumbnails.
Oh, yeah. Very
So
cool.
even though you start over here with a big idea, or a laundry list of big ideas, and then you begin to bring them to fruition, the whole thing is still a morphing, kind of growing process to where you get to launch date.
Yeah, it's like you're sculpting, having that continual progression to sculpt a masterpiece, but it never actually gets to the final outcome. It's continual progression.
Yep.
So one question that I wanted to ask you before we get into further discussion about current events and things like that is why did you choose St. Jude's for your charity?
Yeah, it's a good question. That impressed me right from the start, that so many good charities really take really partner with YouTubers and gamers. And that was one surprise I didn't expect, as I got to know into the community and learn who's who in the zoo. And when I saw that, it's like, that takes a great degree of maturity to have people of notoriety come together and really embrace a charity. Because you go out right back in the corporate world, and the corporation says, oh, we're hand in hand with whatever the charity is. And you're like, well, you're just punching a little tick box that says, see how we care about such and such a charity, whether they do or don't. But when a content creator gamer goes ahead, pours his heart and soul, and those people, in my mind, that comes to to the first thought is like a Dr. Lupo. He's done great work with St. Jude's. Jacksepticeye, he's done great work. And there's so many others that I'm sure you guys know and respect. Markiplier. And I look at those guys and I go, you know what? They truly believe what they're preaching, and it communicates. And I'm like, I can get on board with that. And then I began to learn more about St. Jude's. It's starting way back when with a guy named Marlo Thomas was the daughter. And it's been a 50-year run of just a high integrity, working with kids who have cancer, and who can't get behind that?
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone would feel good about that. And speaking of which, I wanted to...
Danny Thomas. That was it. Danny Thomas. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, St. Jude's, big believer in them.
So cool. Well, I appreciate that. And as a content creator, I wanted to get into doing charity streams, charity events, things like that. And from what I've seen of you, it seems like you do a lot of that, which is really cool. Do you have advice or, just kind of, I guess advice for how would you get into that or get started? Is there a specific like events you would recommend? Is it just kind of, hey, throw a stream together, pick a good cause, use Tiltify? What are your thoughts on that? And what advice would you have for me or other people that are interested?
Tiltify is just another platform to help enable that kind of exchange. So you and I, we don't want to take monies.
Exactly.
We don't need money to eat, It's like, I cringe at that thought. But Tiltify, another stand-up organization, I'm sure there's a minor transaction fee, but fine. They're doing a good work. Everything is up and up. Everything's public. We know exactly who gave what, and I love all that. So nobody questions about, where that money went. So I like that. I like, as a creator gamer, I like that. So I believe in Tiltify. When I was at Twitch, kind of met the guys. They're solid guys. And it seems like a lot of the streamers that I respect use Tiltify. I'm like, all right, good. They're a solid platform. A lot of guys have checked them out and said, yep, they're good. So I believe in Tiltify. Get to know it. They integrate very well. I use Streamlabs OBS, integrate seamlessly into Streamlabs as well as I know OBS. So get your arms around that. And then St. Jude, it seems like always something is going on. It makes sense that they are always trying to have quarterly fundraisers for this and that. And a lot of gamers come up with ideas of, we're going to help them out and do this. So, my encouragement to you guys is, if your heart is saying, okay, it's time, I'd like to do something, do it. And I will say, if you can band together with others, to get that groundswell of interest and support, it's even better than just the one guy out there waving his flag. Hey, charity. I
certainly
like if a charity event drive like Team Trees. I mean, I think the world knew about Team Trees.
That's crazy.
It is. It was. And kudos to Mr. Beast for doing all that. But the window was like a 2.5 month window. And I thought, let's do the charity the whole time. Every time I stream, there you go. You guys want to give? Great. The players, they're solid. Here's how you can do it. And it's up to them, your fans, your friends, to say, I'll step up. Here's $1, $10, $100, whatever they could do.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. It's great to hear that you're doing so many charities and stuff. And honestly, I've hopped into your stream before, and I've seen that you always have that.
You were that one lurker.
I was that lurker. But no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yesterday I hopped in for the first time, and because I have a almost 6-year-old, so I'm always crazy busy, it feels like. But I saw you on. I was like, I need to check this out before I talk with you, because like, what kind of person would I be to interview you and not like join in your stream and see it? So, but I can't just sit there and lurk. I gotta like spam chat all the time. So, and you're playing that space game that I swear it looked like you need to get an associate's degree to like control it. There were like
all the streams.
It was just like, that's crazy.
All the streams.
You should join some of his Minecraft streams. He does a good job.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll definitely be back for more.
but you always have your donations, and you're always doing things for charity, and that's something that I really applaud. And that's something that, I mean, because people need to be able to have that awareness to be able to know that there is good stuff going on out there, because in the world today there's too much negativity, there's too much
Oh yeah.
struggle, there's too many hardships. I mean, and that kind of goes into what, like, we wanted to talk about today, is like this huge crisis that we're dealing with right now. Like,
Yep.
what kind of things do you feel, uh I guess, that you want to make aware to people, because some people are just kind of in the dark about it, that they're just scared out of their minds.
Mm. That ties into to your channel, I think, very, very well. Knowing what you're not is a big step forward to knowing who you are. So we all can think of all sorts of channels that are toxic, that are negative, that are just ridden with drama. Fill in the blank. So I've decided, I am not those things. I'm a guy very comfortable in my skin. People call me, oh, you're a boomer. Guess what? I am a boomer, zoomer, zoomer, boomer. Try to keep up. But I'm going to be the guy who says, all right, I'm not going this way, this way. I'm the guy standing right here saying, let's be positive. Because with chaos, here's a truism, guys, friend to friend. With chaos comes opportunity. And it sounds like an oxymoron. It sounds the opposite. With chaos comes opportunity. It was very, very true, believe it or not, in sales. When there was all sorts of mergers and acquisitions, it actually presented opportunities. And so it is with our country. And right now, I call them random acts of kindness. You may just call them some good news, but you hear about these stories where people have just come out of the woodwork and did something for a neighbor, for a grandma, for a shut-in, for this person or that person, and they just did some random act of kindness. And like, there you go. I can support that. I can talk about that. And let's be that kind of community instead of the other community that's throwing stones and drama and he said, she said, and it's like, stop. Not interested.
Definitely. Yeah, so that, and I think that's a great way to like brand your channel as like almost identity. I think that's just a part of the foundation of it, and I think that's really commendable and cool as well because it's like, yeah, you definitely see certain communities and people, tossing slurs and being hateful to be, like funny. And I was young. I used to do stuff in a similar way. And it's like, but if you, as, especially for your scale, I think people tend to see these gaming communities and look up to people. So almost like a role model. And, to create that just rule up front that this is how we do things, love others, don't like tear people down, build each other up. Like, I think that's such a good thing to teach people because there's a lot of access to internet, maybe not as much parental moderation, and kids can go on and find whatever, and that turns people into kind of little rotten turds, I'd say sometimes. And then when you have that and you get older and that's your norm, then people can be pretty rotten. So I think it's really cool to see communities, especially the bigger communities, the big players and bigger players that have that mindset. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing kind of that thought process around it. I think that's really nice.
There's plenty of darkness on the internet. Let's be, I want to say, can't we just be the light side, the light on the internet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
There's got to be a balance, right?
There does. There does. You'd like to think.
Well, that's kind of what you were talking about before, that like, amidst all the chaos, like, we can bring a lot of good.
We can.
And I feel like there's so much toxicity and negativity out in the world today, and people don't want that when they come home and they want to watch or relax when they're watching their favorite content creators, or whether they just want to be able to just enjoy somebody playing a chill game, like, there's just too much toxicity and negativity, and I feel like being able to have a positive and a stress-free environment is really important for for people just trying to relax and just be able to get away from the negativity of the world.
Definitely.
Exactly. And here we are at a time in the world's history, not just our nation's history, where it's like, okay, we're all facing a quarantine, a restriction of some kind. We go to this world, virtual world, we game, we want to have fun, we want to have an outlet, we want to socialize if virtually. And last night I finally, thank you, Jesus, got my key to Valorant. I'm playing Valorant.
I have yet to get that.
I'm total noob. Oh, I had like 20 windows open. They're all playing.
Oh
Give
yeah,
me
I
the
bet.
key. And so I got in, I started playing, and probably the second game with the group of guys I was with, we beat them. And on the third game, they beat us. And fine, they shot me, killed me. And the guy came over and teabagged me. And I'm like, dude, really?
You're like, please don't turn this game into one of those toxic games too.
Ah, whatever.
Because there's so many games that are just, you just know that the communities are very toxic, so you just kind of stay away from them.
Exactly.
I'm not going to name those games, but I'm sure plenty of people will be able to
We've all been there, done that.
recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to be seeing you streaming Valorant now. Sounds
nice.
good. But yeah, kind of going back to the quarantine. What kind of things are you doing during the quarantine? Like this whole chaos quarantine to be able to help. I guess to be able to help you keep sane. Because I know a lot of people are struggling, and I always tell my community, like, hey, be sure to reach out to your extroverted friends. I know they're probably really struggling right now, and I'm not joking, but like serious.
Dead serious. One advantage I have over probably most is I have had a home office. I thought about it for about 20 years. So I'm kind of used to the routine of this is where I make everything happen, good or bad, it's all on my shoulders. Okay. So right away, I've set up a routine. It's flexible, but for the most part, it's a routine where we get up, we do what we do, and get things done. I go to the gym, I come back here, take care of messages, whatever admin work or errands I have to do, great. Have lunch, and then by then, so I encourage everybody, get a routine. It can be flexible, but you get that routine, and it better have exercise. Okay? I've seen some of you on camera. Better have exercise, first and foremost. Second, definitely have your social network. And it's okay to do stuff like this. This is fine, but I'm telling you, I ride my bike also around my area. I'll do about 10 miles a day. And I am amazed at how we went from a handful of walkers and joggers to there's got to be like 50 people out there, walking, jogging, taking their dogs out 20 times a day. So great. Take advantage of it. Get out there. I saw recently these little driveway get-togethers. They're bringing bottles of wine and beer, but that's okay. They're socializing in a responsible way. So get out and socialize is all I'm saying. Get out, socialize. So you have your schedule, get out, socialize virtually or physically in a respected manner. And then lastly, do some things that you can feel a sense of accomplishment. So, as a homeowner, I've got plenty of things to keep me busy here and there and there.
The unending list.
Still, there's other things. Are you guys readers? Well, read some books, accomplish a few of those things that you're like, oh, I really want to do it. Do it. So the enemy of accomplishing things is procrastination. So take that enemy out of the equation. Do it.
That beast hits me on a very personal level. I've been always a procrastinator in my life, so I can definitely feel for that one. Yeah, no, I think that all makes sense, and I appreciate you sharing that advice to the people watching. Another question I have is, from that socialization aspect, and from the impression I get is that you're pretty integrated with your family, and you seem like you do a lot with your family. Has this quarantine impacted you in a way that you're not able to see them as much? Not at all? Do you have to do games remotely? What has that done with your family aspect of your life?
Yeah, good question. I have one son that lives local, another son that lives in Colorado. I normally see my Colorado son, 2, 3 times, 4 times a year. Haven't been able to see him. Even though airline fares are like, here, please fly. We'll pay you to fly.
Then they'll
I'm
lock
like,
you up
yes,
for 2 weeks.
yes, I want to fly. So I can't go and see him. My other son, we did a local lockdown in the area and haven't been able to see him for 2 weeks. Probably could on the side, but I'm like, we stay in touch, virtually. So that's good.
Yeah.
Take advantage. I tell everybody, take advantage of FaceTime or Zoom or Skype,
Yeah.
but something where you can go ahead and say hi to grandma and grandpa, say hi to aunt and uncle and your cousins. Do it.
Yeah.
If not now, hello, when?
Right.
The zombie
Well,
apocalypse is here. Do it.
And I feel that that's really important to be able to actually, like, there's a lot of people that don't know, that aren't very technologically savvy. And I feel it's really important to be able to especially reach out to them and help them know that there are all of these options available to be able to get that social interaction that you need.
Fill up that cup.
Yeah, because it's like getting your battery repowered. Like everybody needs some social interaction, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. Like you need some sort of social interaction, whether it be playing video games or whether it be going and actually hanging out with friends or getting outside and riding a bike or running or watching a movie or whatever. Like everybody needs it, but in their own way. But I feel that there are a lot of people out there that struggle because they don't know kind of what is available. Like when you say Zoom, a lot of people are probably like, "What is Zoom?"
Really? Serious?
Yeah. Like I know if I mention to a lot of people that I know, my family's more of the like they don't really like technology. They're more of the hardworking class, and if you're not hardworking, then you are like a menace to society, like
Well,
that kind of people. But like they look at what I do, and then they're like, "What are you doing? You're wasting your time." And I'm just all like, "I help people." I'm like, and honestly, it helps me too, because I get the social interaction that I need. But I'm also an introvert. I'm not like the rest of my family. My family really likes to go and talk to people, and I like to talk to people just in a different way.
yeah.
So I feel like it's really important to be able to get that information out there so that people know that there are options available, especially in this time with the quarantine and the lockdown, and who knows when it's actually going to end. Like we don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in the country, so my family, it's simpler times out there. So when you mention Zoom, they're like, what? So, well, Pete, I do have another question for you. This is kind of related, a little veering off the topic, but during quarantine, and I feel like Valorant might take the cake, but what has been your favorite game to, either stream or do videos on? It seems like you do a lot of variety, which I think is cool. I saw you were playing Minecraft Dungeons, regular Minecraft, lots of stuff. So if you had to pick one that would be your favorite, what do you think that would be?
My favorite game of all time is the game that I cut my teeth on, and that is the Halo series.
Just respectable.
I am, oh my gosh. I bought the Xbox 360 for my sons one Christmas, and, without knowing what are these games, I happened to get Halo. And so there we are playing Halo, and it wasn't long before I'm like, all right, go to bed. It's time for bed. I gotta play this game. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So I loved Halo, and Halo to me, it just is the Master Chief is the
so good.
iconic hero of heroes. And let's finish. How does he say that? Finish the fight. I mean, just
man, a few words, but very
exactly
powerful words. Yeah,
But he gets things done.
Cortana, she's the virtual wife, girlfriend. You're like, oh yes, she loves you so much. And they're like, oh, just pull it on me. I'm still crying over Halo Reach. I'm still there. I'm
Oh, that
still,
was so good.
come on, bring it. So
Yeah.
the Halos, and then I can't wait for the end of the year with Halo Infinite. And it's either going to make the series or break the series. It's going to do one or the other.
Well, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's pretty much how it is when they keep coming out with more and more. You're like, I hope that it keeps continuing to be good, but
I don't know
they
if you
could
guys
ruin it.
I don't know if you guys play Gears of War, but that was my baby in college. I remember chainsawing a locust for the first time, and like my roommates were like going crazy and screaming. And then I played Gears Judgment, and I was just like, okay, I think I might be done. So it can go either way. You never know. But yeah, the Halo trilogy Reach. I only got up to a little bit of Halo 4, but they're all great games. I mean,
If
just
you
absolutely
missed
great.
5, you missed nothing.
Oh. Yeah, no, I that's is that Xbox One is for 5? Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
think so.
missing that console.
They
so I
just
missed
came
out.
out with the Master Chief collection, and I think they included it now on all cross platforms.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't picked up
yep.
the Master Chief collection yet. I want
But-
to, man. That multiplayer. Do you play multiplayer? Or are you in it for the story?
Oh, I love campaign. Campaign is the story that I think glues it. So when you get into multiplayer, battle royale type scenarios, it's all in the light of the backstory. Oh, we're part of this great big, in Halo's sense, you're part of this universal battle, right? And that the lines are real clear. It's not gray. There's bad guys, aliens. There's good guys, Spartans, and it's real clear. We like that. I like that. I think back to, when kids used to play cowboys and Indians.
Just in space this time.
Only yeah. So anyway, you asked me the question about what's my favorite game. So that's my all-time favorite game. But
good.
I will
Good one.
say what was surprising was Minecraft. And not that the game itself blocks and blockheads. What? I really did. I looked at it. I'm like, you're joking, right?
I think most people feel that way.
You're joking. But what I found is, no. Well, it's kind of cool to build this and that, and look at what I did, which is cool. It's the community, the online community. And so when I got on SMP Live, and there's Carson, there's Schlatt, and Connor, and Captain Sparkles, and so many others, and Venom, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's the community that suddenly it's fun, it's engaging, you want to go again, and then that was the big surprise for me. The aha moment was, oh. And then I went on, I got to play with a guy named Technoblade and Philza and so many others. I'm like, this is awesome. These people are legends. And I'm playing with them. Let's go.
Right?
So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Well, and I feel like it I mean, it's just like with working. Like coworkers make your work. Like either it's terrible because you're coworkers or it's really fun. Like it's the same thing with gaming. I feel like the communities are a huge part of it. I mean, unless you're just all you do is play RPGs and play by yourself, but but even then, like there's a lot of really great communities. Like it's true, but Halo is amazing. It will always have a special place in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go back to local tournaments for Halo 2 and Halo 3, and that was just wonderful. I
Wow.
loved Halo.
I think
Um,
the best thing was a 4-player co-op campaign. Just 3 buddies sit down, jam through it, pull an almost all-nighter, feel like crap, miss a class or 2. Oops. So yeah, that was a great pick. And I know we
Right.
are getting close to chat questions. I know people want to ask you all the good stuff. I did have one final question for you, and before we jump over to that, but with this event for Over the World, June 21st to the 28th, it's volunteer based for streamers where they fill up spots. Do you think that might be something that you would even be able to at least consider committing to come the summer for the Wounded Warrior Project charity event that would be going on then?
Yes.
That's awesome.
That weekend is in question. I might have a travel obligation.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
But
sure.
so I'm kind of balancing. Oh boy, do I do this or do this?
I
Yeah,
got you. Well, we can talk further on that subject though.
yeah. But I
And
know,
figure it out.
But I'm a
I know
believer in Wounded Warrior. I'm a believer in vets.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
But I know, you know, Hellhound who initially reached out to you. I'm sure he's like, you know, jumping for joy right now. So, you know, that's much appreciated. But yeah, so I think now though we can kind of switch over. You know, I know the people watching, they definitely have questions they probably want to ask you as well. I don't know,
Sure.
Jay, if you have some pulled up that you want to toss.
Yep. I've got a few questions for you to be able to discuss. So the first question is from Mushy SR, and he said, "So about your voice acting career, when exactly did it start? Like, how old are you? You told us a little bit earlier about how you got into it, but when exactly did it start, and when did you actually feel that that was what you wanted to do?"
Mm. Good question. Thank you very much for asking. You know, I've always had this interest in movies, and wouldn't that be awesome? You know, to be on a stage someday or a movie someday. It. I don't know if you guys had that, but I know I certainly did. And I will say then, in my sales career, I was often the guy who gave the presentations. So I think a lot of my success was because I could stand up in front of a room, take the questions, answer them, present in a compelling way that was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. We got to go forward with you. So I came from that kind of a good background, a confidence background that when the opportunity came to now use a voiceover, and I hope you guys understand there's a big difference between a voiceover, that's what you hear on the radio, and a video, which is what you see on YouTube. Some people, they say, oh, I want, you know, anyway, they confuse the two. So when I go ahead and you do a voiceover like you'd hear on the radio, I got my official start when I was on the Fiverr platform. And I did well and did a lot of those productions. And if anybody wants to start, which is where I think he was asking that question, you want to get started? I'm not going to put down Fiverr for saying it's a good platform to start. And you could make $1, $2, $3, $4,000 a month on Fiverr. I'm dead serious. All you need is a decent mic, you need a decent computer, and some audio editing software. And there's free stuff out there. And you can get up and running, and then there's a gazillion hours of free coaching and training out there. So I'd encourage anybody, if you have that interest, hey, you got nothing to lose, go for it.
Yeah,
Right.
my experience with radio is a lot of people tell me I have a face for radio, so I think that's so,
I've never heard that
sorry.
before.
So, yeah, but no, I think that's great. And I saw another question. I need to pull it up, but basically they asked, you know, as a father, how do you help teach your kids, you know, about giving? And I will say personally, I have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old boy, but it's not natural. So, you know, how have you experienced with that? How's it turned out now that, you know, you have your son working with you? So you know, your children are older. I don't think you have any 6-year-olds anymore running around your house. So, but what advice would you give, you know, from your experience?
To all the current dads, parents, and future parents, as a parent, you're learning by the seat of your pants, as well as your son or daughter. First and foremost, you know, nobody came with a handbook when the baby popped out. Here's how you teach me to be, you know, a grown up. So you look for, I think we talk about, you know, being proactive, and the parent that is proactive looks for teachable moments. And maybe you've heard the phrase or haven't, but the idea is real simple. You come across a real life IRL situation and you look at your son or daughter and you go to yourself, this is a good teachable moment of what to do or what not to do. But even that teachable moment, if you can do it in such a way where they walk away and they have to do this with you. Oh yeah, dad, mom, you're right. I do want to do that, or I don't want to do that. Don't run into the street. I don't want to do that. Okay. And as opposed to, oh, I do want to give. So for me, my family, we went to church and I made sure that both my sons definitely gave a portion of their allowance in the offering plate. So right from a young age, that's a good, clear, teachable way. Another way is, oh, your friend doesn't have whatever it is he doesn't have. Why don't you give him some of yours? Not always easy to do when it's a cookie or something special.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but it begins at that young age of seeing mom and dad. Hey, how are mom and dad sharing with each other? Don't forget, they're watching everything, good
Oh
and
yeah.
bad.
They won't say what you're teaching them, and as soon as you hit your knee and you say one bad thing, they're screaming it 10
That's
times.
right. That's right.
They learn by example. Teach
You know.
by example is what I
Yeah. No,
Exactly
feel is the
correct.
best
The
thing.
opposite of what my mom used to say. Do what I say, don't
No.
do
Yep.
what I do. Get
That
out
frustrates
of
you
here.
so much when people
Yeah.
do that. I'm just like, no, don't just say, just do it because I said so, or I'm older than you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So what?
exactly.
Um,
Like that means something.
yeah. So another question is from the one true sloth boss says, how do you deal with haters and trolls on the internet?
Ah. If you come in and you start saying things that it's one thing to be negative or toxic, oh, you're a jerk, blah, blah, blah. But it's another when you start throwing in words and phrases that can violate the terms of service and my partnership. So I have a zero tolerance. If people want to come in and drop the N word and such, boom, you're gone. I actually wish Twitch and YouTube and others, we had a blacklist of, yeah, these are known felons.
Yeah.
And if they come in your chat, that they're just they can't even come in your chat. They're banned. I wish we did. We don't. But anyway, zero tolerance, I think, does pay for itself. I think my chat is pretty known to be pretty good vibe. I call it's just family rated. It's PG. It's PG rated. If mom or dad, grandpa, grandma came in the room, you're not going to be like, oh, don't see the screen. You're not going to do that. Oh yeah.
Family friendly.
That's it.
That's where
family
it's at.
friendly. Here
Well,
it
I
is.
think, and to that point, I believe if you start that expectation, most of your community starts to adopt that expectation. So when you get those newcomers trying to, stir the pot, I feel like, your community can even help step in and kind of, no, if it's not a bannable offense, but they're kind of teetering towards that. And then usually that steers, I feel like, people away as well, that peer pressure almost. So I think your take on it is very excellent. I think that's a great way to approach that. So
Yeah, and at a time when mental health issues are certainly a concern, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, my head's gonna explode. Can you give me some duct tape to keep it from exploding? So mental health issues are real. We've known some people on the internet, YouTube, that have dealt with it and unfortunately had a tragic ending. So let's have those discussions, but let's not have them in the middle of playing Warzone. Okay. There's a time and a place. And so as long as you catch them and say, look, so and so, let's have this discussion. I do care, but I'm not a professional. I'll listen because I care for you as a person. But if you're going to take advice from me, I'm not the guy you take advice from. If so, take my advice and see a professional. But if you want a guy to listen, it's been a tough day. All right, I'll be that guy. Just not in the middle of this game right now. It's not appropriate.
Small follow-up to that. Do you have that frequently where people come in and later on, do you pull people aside on Discord and kind of have that one-on-one time with people that seem to be struggling?
They kind of come in waves.
Sure.
I did a video. I called them Dad Talks, and one of them dealt with suicide. It's a subject I actually didn't want to tackle, but My son encouraged me, Dad, it's real. And I looked in the statistics and I'm like, oh
they're-
my gosh,
especially now. Yeah.
it's the #1 killer of people under 25. Suicide. It's bigger than murder. So I was like, oh,
Mhm.
this is a real situation that we do have to deal with. And not talking about it isn't going to deal with it. So
Mhm.
let's put it on the table. Let's talk about it. And we did. And so I got a lot more of people. I'm really struggling with depression. I'm like, wow, I'm going to take you as serious. So let's take this offline and let's have a serious discussion. But I also quickly found, like many are looking for attention and they're using suicidal
Mhm.
statements to get the attention. And it's like,
Yeah.
darn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm not a
conflict with
professional.
kindness.
I don't want to discern which is which here. If
Yeah.
this is serious, let's treat it seriously. If you just want to go ahead and get attention, either way, the safe thing is let's take this off stream and let's have this conversation.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Like,
No,
you
I think that's
you
really cool.
yeah, you never know what someone is really dealing with. I mean, and they could just be using it to get attention. They could be using it because that's really how they're struggling. So I think that's really important. Just to be able to, just like you said with children, teach by example. Just be able to be the person to be able to help them relax and just chill and calm down. Like whether they want attention or whether they are really struggling and having a hard time, I feel it's really important. Let's see, another question.
If you're searching, I got a quick one. Someone
Yeah, go
asked,
ahead.
with all this going on, has your coffee intake increased? Now, you said you want serious real talk? Oh, yeah. Now we're getting in it.
I
Has it
love
gone up?
coffee. I love coffee. So
Speaking to me personally again.
I'm telling you, I start my day and almost end my day with coffee. So typically for my night streams, if I'm going to stay up till 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then I'll come in with a big glass of iced coffee. As well as, I can't say enough good about certain supplements. And I think of Gamer Sups, very natural, organic things instead of lots of substitutes. But anyway, there are good sort of supplemental drinks out there. I'm not going to put those down. If people are like, oh, I hate coffee. Fine, dude. What do you like? There's
Yeah.
more out there than just coffee.
There's all sorts of stuff. Here's one last quick question before we go for your final statements. Do you ever get artist or performer's block, and how do you deal with it?
By block, what do you mean?
Like, do you ever just feel like not doing it? Feel like not streaming, not performing, not doing, not hopping on the channel, not working on a project? Do you ever just have that writer's block kind of thing, performer's block?
Yes and no. So yes, when it comes to YouTube, and I'm trying to think of a video, I'm not Mr. Creative. Oh yeah, we should, do this, and you come up with a dude perfect, sort of idea or whatever it is. That's not me. I'll be the guy in it, but that's not me to come up with, oh yeah, and here's how we set all this up. So I do get that kind of a block of what do I do? Sometimes when gaming, I find myself doing this. What do I play? Do I play Valorant today? Do I play Warzone today? Do I play Minecraft today? So I do find some of those. And personally, then what I look at on the game side is, well, who's playing what right now? And if some of the biggies are out there, XQC, Dr. Lupo, whoever it is you've got, as some of your gaming favorites, and they're playing, I'll just pick on Valorant. If they're all playing Valorant, that actually opens the door for some other games of interest, because I can't compete with those guys, and I'm not going to pretend to. So fine, what if I play something that is popular, maybe not as much, but okay, so then I'll go in this direction. Okay, nobody's playing Minecraft, great, I'll play Minecraft, I'm there. There's a solid community for that. So, but with YouTube, for me, that's been much more of a challenge of not performer's block, but more of the creator block. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I could do this, but where's my editor?
Yeah.
Anyway, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I
It
believe so.
answered it for
That
me.
was
I don't know about the viewer.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so yeah, and then
Um,
one other thing
go ahead.
to that point that I've read on the internet, so it has to be true. But they mentioned motivation it fades, but once you build a habit and a routine, that is consistent. So for me, I don't really have as good of a routine, but when I'm not feeling motivated, man, sticking to that habit helps out too. So I think that's
It does, and I suffer from a problem. I don't mind admitting it. Hi, I'm Pete, and I am a workaholic. I admit it. And it didn't take me long in working at corporate jobs to realize, wow, I work in part so much because I am just a workaholic. So when I come here and I go, man, I can game, I can make it YouTube video, I can have fun with people from around the world. Dude, why wouldn't I want to do this? This is the best working job. I don't even want to call it work. I get paid,
Yep.
thank God, and I could use more. But this is awesome. What an awesome opportunity. So I feel you. I hear you on those days you're like, I don't want to turn it on. I'm just the opposite. I'm like, what do you mean
Let's
I
do
got to
it.
go eat? I'm having fun in here. We're
Food.
in those noobs. Come
What
on.
is what is food? Yeah, I feel it's important. Like you mentioned depression earlier. I feel it's important that when you are having those moments, that's the time when you need to do it. And when you do it, then you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have fun. It's gonna get
those
you out of that
sweet,
funk.
sweet dopamine fixes, right?
Because you know what makes you happy, but when you're feeling depressed or when you're feeling down, I feel like it's really important to do those things that do bring you joy. You
And
might not feel like getting on Minecraft, but if you hop on Minecraft, you're gonna have fun.
and that's tough. I actually have some family members that go down the rabbit hole of darkness. And all of a sudden it's nothing is right and nobody can do anything right and the world is coming to an end. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? That's not true. And so you got to kind of help pull them back out of this rabbit hole. And
Yeah.
but I feel for that person who doesn't have somebody there who they're accountable to and they can reach out and just say, oh my gosh, help. I feel like the ship is sinking and I don't know what to do. Man,
Those
I
people
feel
who
for
feel
those people.
alone.
I do. And those people more than anybody, they need some accountability person. Where if I go ahead and I reach out to you and I say, look, it's a tough day for me. Can you help me? And I can trust you that you're going to have my confidence and I share things like that with you and it doesn't go beyond that. So it's great if you're in that type of person to have accountability people you can trust and have confidence in. And man, that's solid. That's solid.
Very much.
And that's why I said earlier, you gotta reach out to your extroverted friends or everybody during this
Everybody.
time. Like, everybody's
Everybody.
struggling. So do you have any kind of final remarks as to what you want to let everybody know? As either struggling content creators that are wanting to be able to
Be on
do
peak
well
status.
or enjoy it, like, because I know a lot of people are just kind of stuck in a rut. And is there anything that you want everybody to know?
Here's the good news about the quarantine. It's a reset. And it's a reset for everybody. I don't care who you are, the big streamer with the big numbers, the big YouTuber, Pewds, I know you're lurking. So whoever you are, it's a reset because never in the history of the world have we had anything like this on this scale. There's been plagues and wars, but nothing like this because we can also communicate in a way that never before have we been able to communicate during such a worldwide crisis. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, chaos breeds opportunity. So with a reset, we now have opportunity. Okay, we're all at the same table. The playing field is even for the most part. So now is the opportunity to do some things that you haven't done. What is that? To the new YouTubers and people that want to, I've never done video blog. Start it. I've never done a channel. Start it. Oh, but what if nobody likes it? So you did it. Have you tried it? Do you know you really like it? Do you know what a commitment it is? Dude, do that. Start it. And give yourself the freedom to fail. That's really important key. I know I've read a lot of books. Many a millionaire has failed and lost everything, only to come back and make it again. Failing is not a bad thing. Failing can be one of the greatest things in your life because it's going to do one of two things when you fail. It's going to teach you, and think of every athlete you've ever known and respected. Do you think they've always had a victory? No. They had failures every step of their career and their life learning experiences, what not to do and what to do. Same thing, much smaller scale, YouTube, gaming. Okay, you had some success, you had some failures. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and I hope that has a hardening resolve within you to say, I'm going to continue on and I'm going to do it better. That's why I hate to hear that schools have gone a different direction. Oh, nobody can fail. Little Johnny is just going to fall apart. Tough. Let him fall apart. Let him kind of man up or woman up, as the case may be. And you're going to find a person now of a much stronger character because they had to be that person. So what do they do during this time? Take advantage of the reset. Start something new that they've never done, wanted to do, just want to try to do. I agree with you guys. Get a routine, but also get somebody you can help be accountable. This is a great opportunity. And I know as we come through the other side of this time, we're going to now have all sorts of stories where somebody just bent over backwards. We didn't even know about so-and-so, but he did this great act of kindness. And you marvel at such integrity, at such love that this person's going to express. So I think this is going to be a movie, hands down. It's going to be a movie. Probably, because it's so dramatic, there's going to be a movie. But what won't be in the movie are these great acts of kindness. It's as simple as you going ahead and you get on that phone and you talk to grandma or grandpa that you haven't spoken to in so long, that you talk to your aunt and uncle, that you talk to your cousin in Timbuktu, and you just haven't communicated with them in years. If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? If you don't do something like try something to of interest, YouTube, gaming, that you haven't done before, well then, dude, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. And one thing, that does plague every person are the regrets. What you didn't do for whatever the reason. Don't make this time in your life one of those moments where, darn, if only I had taken advantage. This is it. This is your time. Take advantage. That's it, boys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Pete.
Yeah, Pete, really appreciate your time coming on today. It means a lot to us, and I know for the viewers for Over the World, I'm sure they're over the world for this. So, but yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. So thank you for taking the time for sharing some of your thoughts. I know for me personally, this was a really awesome opportunity. So thank you.
You bet.
Yep. Thank
you
you
bet,
so
gentlemen.
much, and honestly, love your advice. Thank you so much, and
You
I
bet.
hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
Thank
have
you.
a good weekend, good sir.
I'll see you in my streams, okay? Valorant.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
We'll be
over
there.
See you, Pete.
Have a
Thanks
good one,
again.
Pete.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Well, I think that went quite well, good sir.
Yeah, it
So
was good. We raised $100 during the stream, so that
thank
was
you everyone
awesome.
that helped contribute to that. So that's really awesome.
Yep. Thank you guys. Honestly, Pete's amazing. It was such an honor to be able to have Pete here today. But honestly, Pete is where he is at because of people like you guys here supporting and helping and encouraging and actually wanting to do and make a difference. Those who are able to support and donate, or even you, even just being here and being a viewer and listening. Like every little bit helps, and it that's the reason why he continues to have the drive that he does, you know? That's why he continues to hop on and and stream and content create, because of people like you.
Definitely. So, well, and to conclude everything, Jwin, I think you have an announcement for, the follow-up uh, overcast that we'll be doing potentially next Saturday, and
Mhm.
then also a final message about our sponsors. I'll let you take over that part of it, if that's okay
Yep.
with you.
Yep, that's perfectly fine. So we're going to be doing these podcasts every Saturday. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same kind of setup as we did before. And like I said before, Cyber Gameway. I see you're in chat. Cyber Gameway is sponsoring these podcasts through Over the World charity events, and we want to be able to have Lucky. Lucky is the head of Cyber Gameway. Eventually, I think this Saturday we are going to be able to have Lucky on to be able to express a little bit more about what Cyber Gameway is and what they can do for you guys, if you are a content creator or you have a community or anything like that. They are there to be able to help you in whether it be creating a website or distributing merchandise or just getting advice on how to be able to improve the quality of your streams or content creation in any way. But they are a wonderful group, and we definitely appreciate them and thank them for their sponsorship in these podcast events. And I think we're gonna. Do you have anything else you would like to share, Pixel?
Um, I think it's just more, I appreciate everyone that has come together to help us with, organizing this. Um, Hellhound, I would say kind of the head of Over the World for bringing Jwin and I together so that, we had this opportunity to network together and have this overcast, stream weekly, and just be part of something that is for the greater good. It's not about me, it's not about Jwin, it's not about, specific individuals, it's about helping others. That's what it's about, that's what we want to be about with it. So, for everyone that came here and, participated, all the people that helped donate, for, future streams, if you can help support it and help spread the word about the event coming up in the summer. I think that's just my final thoughts, is just there's a lot of gratitude, and I would say mainly for voiceover Pete for joining us, to kick this off with such a big YouTube player streamer. I think is just really awesome for Over the World and for me personally, and I'm sure for you as well, Jwin. So my final
Hmm.
thoughts is just, gratitude and thanks to you guys and everyone that was a part of this.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it is. It's all about the charities and what we can focus, or what kind of donations that we can focus on getting for those specific charities that people come on. And yeah, I see in chat that like yeah, we do plan on getting a schedule up. This was our kind of first debut of the podcast, and honestly, having voiceover Pete here was just amazing and phenomenal to be able to have him as our first podcast. But we plan on doing the exact same thing with further people going on in Saturdays to come, and we are going to set up a schedule for who we are going to see throughout the given month, and be able to post that schedule at the start of each month.
Mm,
Um,
Something to add to that, I would say as well. This is all volunteer based. We're basically out hunting for people that are, interested in helping us out, and especially if they have an audience of people that we can help, just
mhm.
network over the world. So, for any content creators, streamers, YouTubers, I don't think we have any bias, but I
Yeah.
think, as we continue doing this, if there are people that you would want to refer or people that might be interested to reach out to either us, or you can go to the Over the World Discord. If a
Mhm.
mod can post the link for anyone that's not part of that, I would highly recommend joining. and that's probably
Yep.
where most of the information would be shared.
Yep. Yep. Probably within my community as well as Pixel's community and over the world. That's where all the information will be shared. And yeah, please do join the Discord. If you have, well, we're both a part of the Discord. If you have anybody in mind as well, you can also DM any of us to be able to give us a suggestion on who, or get us in contact with them. If you could actually bring them to us so that we could talk to
I'm
them
not
and get
very
to know
good at
them a little more.
networking, by the way. So any help is definitely
uh,
appreciated.
yeah, but honestly, if you have people in mind, yes, feel free to suggest them and bring them to us and get them in contact with us, because we would definitely love. And like Pixel said, we're not going to, like, it doesn't matter if you're some huge enormous YouTuber like over like VoiceOverPete. Honestly, you could just be a starting off streamer that you just have a story to tell, and you want to be able to express that, to be able to help others, and to be able to go towards a certain charity. And so, but again, thank you all so much for
Oh,
being here today.
one
Yeah,
last thing.
Pixel.
I will take the recording of this podcast. I will edit it down to a video on demand, so it will be on my YouTube channel. Probably in a couple days. So that way, if anyone that missed it, if you want to share that with them, we'll have record of it. And then most likely we'll have a more official YouTube channel in place. But in the meantime, I'm going to be taking responsibility on that. So if anyone wants to watch that, I'll be posting a link to the Over the World. I'll be posting it to my community's Discord and sharing that too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it for me.
Perfect. All right, thank you everybody. We are going to be done for today. Is there any suggestions on who we should rate today? I feel like rating is really important in
Yeah,
any
that'd
stream,
be
to
awesome.
be honest. Any suggestions?
I don't have any, sadly.
Okay, let's look real quick.
The
Nine Baz
Nine Baz.
is Nine Baz on currently? Zom
Last
Chicken.
online.
Is there any charity organizers that you guys know that are online currently?
You could always raid Pete. So I guess he's not online.
That's
just
true.
Yet.
I don't
Right.
think I don't think he hopped online yet.
Unfortunately.
All right. Actually, I know Slender Monk, and Slender Monk is a huge support to a lot of people. Easy Escape? Is Easy Escape on right now? Yeah, there we go. We'll do Easy Escape. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for being here today.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yep, and like, I just want to say, like, I love you guys. You guys are amazing, and we wouldn't be where we're at today without you. And even same people just like Pete, they wouldn't be anywhere without people like you. So, all right, have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys. We offline?
All right, man. We're offline.